A good afternoon to you. Welcome to Women at the Frontlines here on Civic Space TV. And I'm delighted, as usual, to bring to you women changing the world wherever they are. And on set today, we have a friend of mine, a colleague. Yes, I'm also happy to host my friends as well. So this one is Jean Ngobi, and she is from Akinamama wa Africa, leading the women political women in leadership program in that organization, which works at regional level. And so Jean works in the background to push women politicians to leadership. I've got it right, I think. And
yes.
That's a great work. I am your product.
We are so happy to have you as well.
And many more across the region.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
sure.
so yeah, I'm so delighted to host you on this program.
Thank you.
But this time you are on the spot. It's not us. You are not teaching. You are not inspiring. You're not encouraging other women to grow in their political journeys. Would like just to capture your story as well as a leader in your own right. And of course, to inspire women that it's doable. These things are doable. It's possible. It's possible. Wherever you find yourself, you are a leader. And all we do, impact, change, transform, and push forward and push back any backlashes and all that. So I'm glad, comrade.
Thank you so much, Honorable.
Yeah.
Indeed, so excited also to be here. The one thing that that has happened to me since the year started, I think, is to be here.
Is that so?
Yeah.
In March?
So I can speak to the nation.
Wow.
So I can speak to the young women.
And share your
I can
story.
speak to the ladies out there and share my story. Because, you know, many times we do not learn certain things because we have not grafted well the story. We have not shared the story, and there are many people who would learn from the story miss out that. So I am
the power
also so
of the story.
excited today that I've been invited to share a story about me.
And I know there's a lot of things we can learn from your journey as well.
Yeah.
So, but of course I know you, and you're coming to our audience for the first time, Civic Space TV. I don't know if you've been on any of our programs before. I think this is our first with you.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so we just want to know a little more about you. If we had already hosted you before, we'll just proceed. And of course, I know Jean, I've known you at the Akinamama platforms. What else do we not know about Jean?
There is a lot that you do not know about me, perhaps. You know, there is what we call the Joe Harris window so far. There is what people know about
and what
you.
Others
and
don't.
What others don't know.
Wow.
And what both of you know about each other. I think we stand at that point.
Yes.
But to start with, my name is Jean Ngobi. I'm currently serving at Akinamama Africa as the Women's Political Leadership Program Officer. I am a mother. I am a women's rights activist. We have done really a lot of work in the women's movement to ensure that the voice and power of women is heard. Because many at times we have realized since history that the woman, despite being the majority, for example, you're speaking about 51% commanding the population of Uganda, we are still marginalized.
So much, so many people actually.
We have really contributed really a lot to ensure that we uplift the voice, we build the capacity of women.
Someone could think that you're not doing much, and you know, these women talking all the time. Women, what do women want? That's what they say out there.
Yeah, it's a process really for people to feel your energy, for people to see what you are doing. And that is why most people give up, because they feel something should be done immediately and it yields. You see the fruits hanging already. But it's a process. It requires commitment. It requires patience. It requires focus, you know. Because sometimes it's raining, sometimes it's not raining. It's too sunny, it is too rocky. There are a lot of thorns in between the roads, but your consistency and, you know, persistence keeps you moving.
Right.
And also the fact that you enjoy what you are doing.
Right.
Let them say, anyway, we are not seeing, but you Yeah,
you
at
know
a point
you're making changes.
Yeah, change will happen.
When you see a
and
product,
change happens gradually. Yes.
Yeah. So in terms of Akina Mama, because someone could be asking, what is this Akina Mama thing? Akina Mama. What do these women do? What do you spend your time doing on a normal day?
So Akina Mama Africa has been here for quite a time, since 1985. We started in the UK. We are a Pan-African organization working to ensure that the African woman and girl has a space in the decision-making space and also has a space in their own right. You see, many times, as I have said, the African continent has been one of the targets. Women in Africa have been a target where their rights are subjugated, they are not heard, their rights are not reflected in the family sphere, community and public life. So what we do basically is ensuring that we are advancing the political, social, health, and economic rights of the African women and girls.
That's massive.
So that people, society, actors understand and are responsive to ensuring that these rights are protected. Akina Mama Africa is a regional organization. We not only work in Uganda, we are working in several countries of Africa. For example, we are in Ethiopia, we are in Sudan, we are in Tunisia, we are in Rwanda, we are in Kenya.
Whoa.
Yes. So we are a Pan-African
That's a lot
organization.
of work.
We believe to unpack and promote the African narrative of who a woman is. Because an African woman is a very strong woman, very intelligent, and very productive. So yes, that is where we are. Yes.
There's a lot that is coming out from Akina Mama, of course, and I feel a belonging. You know, I have a sense of belonging to that organization. And of course, I know you have so much as an organization that you do, but I would like you to just focus on the women's leadership program which you're running and give us a little bit more on what you do in that direction. Because when people are asking for what you are doing, what are you changing in society? These are the things we are talking about.
Yes.
Who are you working with? What are you doing with those people?
Since inception, we have trained over 8,000 women and girls in Africa.
I didn't know it was that big.
Yes, under our flagship program that is commonly known as the African Women's Leadership Institute.
Which I took part in.
Abbreviated as AWLI, yes. Yeah. So we really select specific aspiring and incumbent women leaders to be incubated into this program so that we build their capacity to espouse feminist principles of providing transformative leadership.
And alternative as well.
Alternative, yes, to ensure that there is equity, there is balance, there is growth for everyone, both men and women. And we do this through a lot of things that we feel are supportive. There are a lot of tools that we use. One of it, I said, capacity building. We build their capacity to be influential leaders in their spaces at parliamentary level, you know, both national and regional levels, so that they are influencing these spaces and speaking for the voices of all the women and girls of Africa. And we also do a lot of research and knowledge building. Yes, so we do conduct a lot of researches to speak with evidence and advocate with evidence, so that we can disrupt the factors that impinge women's political participation.
I like the word disrupt.
Yes. Yes. And we also do movement building, because we believe working together is a mile. Once you walk alone, you will move only a few steps.
An example is given of this sprinter. What is this? This Bolt, the man Bolt.
Yes, yes, yes.
Apparently makes a record. He made a record, I don't know, 9-point-something, being the fastest man on the planet alone, while running on the track alone. And he put a record. He set a new record. And he again participated in the relay, where, you know, that game where you run together and you pass it on to another, pass it on to another. When that was counted and compared to what he set as an individual, the team ran was higher. They set a new record to prove to the world indeed that when you work as a team, when you work as a team, you achieve faster, you move faster, you move faster. So that's the point you're making.
Yeah, so solidarity, sisterhood, and movement building is what we do.
Wow.
We support caucuses of women leaders, movements of women leaders who are deciding to come together to organize and say we can do collaborative efforts and do joint advocacy to confront the challenges that are affecting us. One of it recently has been in Uganda, supporting to initiate the Inter-Party Women's Platform, where we are saying the women leaders from across different divides can come together and speak in one voice, in one accord, support each other, you know,
as women leaders.
Because despite being part of different colors, we are confronted by the same socio-economic and political challenge. It doesn't matter which political party you come from, but you'll be faced by seeing women die every day in hospital.
Child labor.
Unpaid care work. Poverty surrounds all of us. Disease surrounds all of us. And so it is just imperative that women come together because they are first women before they are any other color. So we speak to the fact that we are all women, we are all girls of Africa, and therefore we have to work together and promote our rights. Yes, so the other thing that we try to do around strengthening the ability of the African woman to advance herself in the political and other leadership spaces, decision-making spaces, is I talked about capacity building. I've talked about knowledge and
research.
Research.
Movement
I have
building.
spoken about movement building. The other thing that we try to do is ensuring that we speak to the actors through dialogue.
These? Okay. The decision makers.
The actors in the different spaces, be it media, because many times you have found there is that negative perception of women in politics in the media. And so we cause that kind of conversation with the media actors, with the policy makers, with any other stakeholder you may name, yes, to ensure that there is an enabling space.
Yeah.
And lastly, mentorship.
Mentorship.
Because the story must be continuous.
Oh, yes.
Where there is that intergenerational connection between the young and the old. How do we ensure that the seasoned women leaders, our ancestors...
You call them ancestors?
Our ancestors are actually
don't find it offensive.
The young ones.
Because an ancestor assumed is that one who has passed on perhaps and all that.
No, for this
So
case,
you are calling us ancestors?
Ancestors, yeah, the seasoned people who have been in this space for quite a time. Okay. We are a product of ancestors, the works of ancestors. We have been trained, we have been mentored by those who went before us.
I guess those are selected terminologies.
For example, yes, the Honorable Winnie Byanyima, Honorable Matembe.
Right.
Yeah. And many.
We are also slowly going to that level now.
We take mentorship as so sensitive and so important to move on the journey, to take on, take on the mantle to the next generation.
That's great work. So, that's great work. That's great work. But focusing on you, the leader, have you always been doing this kind of work? Has your journey been always in women, leadership? Or you have other histories or her stories?
Honestly, I do have her stories. I do, but importantly, I joined this journey with a soul. I didn't tell you, by the way, I first trained as a secondary school teacher.
That's a great one. Teachers are the best.
My mother was a teacher. Her mother was a teacher. So she found I should be a teacher. And so it incidentally happens that... I was raised by her alone. And so there was this kind of coercive decision, you should become a teacher.
Wow.
But well, I do not regret about it because through it I have been able to use the skills to impact knowledge to
Which
others.
you do now, actually, because, as a trainer.
But incidentally, my passion was becoming a human rights defender.
Which you are doing as well.
Activism, human rights work was at the core of my interests when I was growing up. And so I had to kind of rest my education career.
Your path
to join,
will always follow, find you.
To join another path of human rights defending and activism. And this is where I am. So,
Jean, you are not teaching in the mainstream per se, but what the work you're doing, you are teaching.
Exactly.
Because you
I just left school setting, classroom teaching
to what you are doing now.
To what I am doing currently, and I really enjoy it so much. I have never regretted. It has never crossed in my mind that, oh, why did I cross? Because everyone has their calling, and I think this is where my calling is as well. When I look at the different challenges women in political leadership face, from all over the spaces I've interacted with in the countries where we operate, from the networks I connect with, from the faces that cross cross my path every day, I see a lot of challenges, a lot of sexual, gender-based violence in the political space. I see women at the margins of leadership because they have not built enough of the capacity to confront the challenges, to be able to push for policies, articulate laws, speak for their interests. I see women are at the margins because they cannot compete with men who have the money, because politics is now so commercialized.
About money.
Yeah,
you saw the Nigerian election. You saw the videos.
People are giving serious dollars.
And I was asking myself, how different is this from Uganda?
So when it comes, it's not different actually. Although they are using more money, but we also use a lot of money here, which actually makes so many women disadvantaged to come and participate, because they cannot buy the votes just like men do. When I see a lot of violence during elections, and you see women are this kind of gender that is fearful of violence. Where there is violence, they usually shy away to be a part of that, So they cannot compete in such an environment where they are seeing bloodshed, where they are being threatened, they are being abducted, they are being battered, or even raped. They will run away. And here we are saying, oh yes, we have a lot of women. The women are commanding population. There are a lot of legal frameworks talk about the CIDO, the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination.
Our own constitution.
Talk about the Maputo Protocol, the Beijing Platform of Action that we ratified here, the 1995 Constitution, the gender mainstreaming policies that we all talk about and say, anyway, these are sufficient enough to ensure that women are on the table. They are laying their decisions on the table, and they are reflecting, their needs are being reflected in the policies and law, which is not happening. Did you know even as we speak now, men are more than women in parliament and all decision-making spaces?
It's not surprising, because of what you are talking about, the challenges that you've enumerated, and of course money to get elected, the violence that is accompanied. Women don't want the violence,
and
they run away.
Importantly, how the culture has socialized the aspect of women's political leadership. Do you know, if you are a woman who is saying that, anyway, I'll speak out, I'll join politics, they will look at you differently. There is that kind of stigma that comes around. That is a domain for men. I mean, you are not supposed to speak out. You are not supposed to confront men like this.
Not changing. So, are things still the same? Are we still in the same narrative? Hasn't it improved? Are there some things you are proud of right now?
Honestly,
having done this work over the years, is there some, things that you count as improved?
Yes, I can say there are certain things that we say anyway. There are some slow-hanging fruits for us to enjoy and harness and benchmark on. The fact that, at least, for example, in Uganda or throughout the Great Lakes region or Africa, there are enabling laws that are speaking for women. That is a big plus. Then we have the mandate to speak. We get the energy to say, anyway, laws are already protecting us. because those laws that are speaking to our rights are already in
existence,
place.
yes.
And our countries have ratified and also domesticated those provisions in our local constitutions. So that is a very big plus. Also for the fact that when you walk into certain spaces, you'll find women taking charge of leadership positions. We have women who are...
So the numbers have increased as well.
They have increased. But however, that does not mean... It doesn't mean...
You are deflating me.
Yes, because it doesn't mean that all is well for us. When you see a lot of kind of challenges that the women are facing currently, the contemporary woman in leadership is facing more challenges than even it used to be in the past.
In the past.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Hey.
Did you know in most political spaces, sexual harassment is at its highest?
They called it what? They called it thigh power.
Thigh power.
The power of the thigh. And the way it influences. We don't want to talk about it, but it is a big challenge.
It is eating up women so much and discouraging a lot of young women who would aspire to join politics. Because recently there's a research that has been carried out by partners, for example, KIC, that was speaking about sexual harassment in political spaces in Uganda and Zambia. And you realize that the biggest percentage of women are shying away to join politics because of that vice. I will tell you that with the women, the young women I've interacted with, they will frankly tell you that it is not easy. It is no longer merit that sails you through the structures of a political party.
Subject as well, and to confirm what you are saying, that indeed it happens. I have been in that space. We see what happens, and it is true. Even politicians at that level are harassed.
For a woman to get a political party ticket, have you seen the other so-called kingmaker in the party? Even male getting a ticket to attend a workshop or conference outside the party.
Someone has to give it to you.
Sometimes they are inviting somebody they will
company.
Who will provide company in the night. Not because you are capable to go on that to go on that table and influence decisions, or you are this kind of person they see that your presence will bring meaning.
It is sad because even appointments at the highest level, I know that even that happens. I don't want to.
How many women are speaking out about that? A few
because
of them.
It comes with the repercussions as well.
It comes with repercussions indeed. So we are saying it's no longer...
You remember the case of Samantha Mwesige?
Yes,
that one is a public case, of course, and it is now in court, where a junior officer speaks out against her boss, her supervisor. And the man is sort of, the public seems to be protecting him and saying it is not possible that that can happen. And that happens to many women in political spaces, but because they can't speak out and don't have the courage. They can't speak out,
and actually it also speaks to the nature of how they show up, speaks to their productivity and effectiveness in the space.
The man was instead promoted, and this lady is still in court struggling.
If we still have this culture of supporting perpetuators
complacency.
And complacency, then I think it will not take us any mile. The laws that we pride about will not be affected, and they will not yield anything. Yes.
Wow, you are just speaking, and I don't want you to stop because you are just talking to the chords of my heart, and there's so many things you're bringing out in this short time, and of course I'm delighted to be hearing from you. And you see, you were speaking about the challenges, and now I was trying to push you and nudge you to pick out what the benefits we have so far out of our work, and you have highlighted a few points here and there in terms of the numbers. I interrupted you while you were discussing on the issue of increase in numbers, and you were pointing out that it's not all, merry. We cannot celebrate the numbers because there are these challenges. Perhaps there are other things you want to pick out in that direction in terms of the things we can call milestones in the work that we do, in particular the work that you do. Yeah. besides what we have mentioned?
Yes.
Because not all is bad.
I am happy and excited that irrespective of the challenges that women in politics are facing, partners, us are taking interest to say, anyway, what can we do about this
area?
How do we ensure that we build the capacity of these women, of these young women, of the people who are showing up to come to take up positions of power in public spaces, to ensure that they can confront the challenges. And I'm not saying we should normalize the challenges and pain that women are facing, but at least let the women be empowered. Let them have guards around themselves to be able to speak and articulate issues, to be able to say no and say, no, this is not right, this is wrong, and I'm not going to comply, to be able to say, anyway, I know the laws. I am aware of a certain policy that can protect me. I think that is also way important for us. So we have been able to train women, young women. The other day, I received a call by the nurse, so got so excited about it. You know, I have lived a life of supporting others to join this space. I have a line of young women who look up to me and so many other people. So the other time we were training women candidates, the councillors, those who were contesting for parliamentary seats. So I received these calls that a few people who actually called me and said, please, because of you we won. We did not give up. You remember how you taught us, how you told us to do this and the other, you know, how to manage the campaigns, how to manage election day, how to manage, you know,
resources, fundraise,
how to show up, how to speak, how to draw an agenda, you know, a campaign agenda. So I followed each and every step, and here I am. I am a councillor. I am even a speaker of the district. So that alone
is enough
brought
for you
joy,
to keep going.
to say yes. We are making change. Maybe if there wasn't that space where this particular woman got this knowledge and capacity,
where would that
she would have
be?
contested. She wouldn't have gone through, but
Not
here we are now because of that kind of support that was facilitated and fostered. We got a candidate, we got a woman winning. So irrespective of the challenges, there is some kind of hope that different partners, different individuals are mentoring, are coaching, are supporting women, and we are saying this should not stop, it should continue. We need more women, because after election you find that those who fail sometimes give up and they are running away. But during the trainings that we give them, we are telling them, anyway, when you fail, do not give up. Just up the game. Look at the reasons why you failed, work upon them, show up in the constituency, get more energy, you know, get more connections, and yes, if it did not happen yesterday, it will happen tomorrow.
Next time.
We do not want to lose you. We still need you. You have a law that you can, you know, you can
Akina Mama, I can see.
You
and
can
of course,
support community with
the products. I meet them out there. There are so many, and I think that you need to document and get to understand where these people are, especially if I'm talking for Uganda, not any other country. In Uganda here, so many people you've trained. Where are they? You can be able to trace them, perhaps.
I think this is not only for Akina Mama, but it has been a challenge for the women's movement in Uganda. We do not profile ourselves. We do not have that data that we know, anyway, if I need this,
where can I get it?
I'll get it from here. So and so contributed here and there. These are the challenges, and this is how they manage to mitigate and move forward. I think we miss that a lot. But as Akina Mama, currently, actually, we are profiling our alumni. We are talking about the 8,000 alumni who have gone through our African Women's Leadership Institute. And we are under process, profile them throughout Africa so that we have an archive, we have a repository of our own.
Of your own.
Yes, so that we know who is who, what are they doing, how have they, you know, how they share their experiences, and how they are navigating through the challenges and managing. So that is also important.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow. I think in that, to wind up that discussion in that area, I would like to know what those things that you think have not been addressed, what need to be addressed in the area of politics and women and leadership, because you are an expert in that area. What are the areas we need to work on this far? What do you think we need to pay attention in order to get the parity you're talking about, to increase women's representation, to increase leadership of women?
As I said earlier, we have done a lot and are still doing a lot on capacity building, but the environment in which women play must be leveled. Leveled in terms of having enabling laws and implemented laws, because we have laws, but sometimes they are not well implemented. So seeing to it that we implement the gender laws that we have, the laws that actually speak to women's political participation, women's rights, is so important. And this speaks to the actors, to the policymakers, to our leaders, to ensure that we do not have only the laws in books, but they must be laws that have legs, that can move. That have hands, that have eyes, and to see ears. This is wrong, let us amend here. This is right, let us preserve it and see it move again. You know, that can take laws that have track on their progress. How are we faring here? Is it working? Isn't it working? What can we do better? I think that is so important. Also, on the environment is to speak to the commercialization of politics that has kept a lot of Ugandans, a lot of women and girls at the margins. Yeah, they would enjoy their political right. They would enjoy to be a part of the journey, political processes and development of this country. But because it's so expensive, they can't. Oh, Honorable, I didn't tell you, I contested when I was just at university as a woman member of parliament from Uganda. You had I'll tell you that story, by the way. But I will tell you, in that time when I was just attempting, I did not even have money for nomination.
Ooh. But you had the courage to do that.
I had the courage. The second time I prepared, I had the money for nomination and what have you. But I realized how expensive the field is. Many young women, would not just manage and they were just dropping off because it's so expensive. It is. We need to do a lot of civic education. This times, of course, on government, but also other actors, but specifically also to government. Civic education is so important so that the electorates know what they have to do. They contest, I mean, the players know their mandate. And we create the environment so soft for everyone of us so that there are free and fair elections all over, all through. Where we are not seeing violence, where we are not seeing commercialized politics, which actually maybe men can manage. But even men sometimes are not able. They are also disadvantaged. But women are more disadvantaged when they are situations of commercialized politics. Why? Because research has it. Women are more poorer than men.
They don't have resources.
They do not have resources. They do not have resources. Property. So how do you expect that there shall be parity at the end of the day? That will have women, even if we have the laws on the table. So enabling an environment free from violence, free from commercialized politics, free from, I talked about violence, but violence is in two forms.
It is deep.
It is very deep. We're speaking about sexual-based violence. Women are raped during election times. They are battered. They are arrested. And done on a lot of things which actually threaten them and make them shy away. And we are also talking about violence in terms of ensuring that the election times are safe for everyone. The state machinery is not
used against
against the citizenry. Ensuring that is general peace and stability during the process for all, both opposition and the ruling party, so that either way we are seeing fairness, we are seeing the environment being friendly.
You have actually answered what was lingering in my mind, because I'm like, you have so much knowledge, so much experience, so much passion stocked up in you. And I'm like, how come she's just teaching in the background and she's not at the forefront, on the front line of politics, running for election, running for office. And I didn't know you had tried.
I tried twice.
Before.
I tried twice, but when I realized it is hot, I did not fear. Yes, no, I did not fear, but I said maybe I can stay in the background and work on the challenges so that we can
get a leveled platform.
An environment that is hostile for us to operate, and we enable it. So that by the time I come, yes, there is something. And also ensuring that I am supporting those who are willing to come up now.
Right.
Yeah? Building their capacity, speaking for them, you know, negotiating for them. That is so important also.
Wow. You have done quite a lot, my sister. And of course, I know that we cannot write you off from the front line. Maybe one day you will still be on the front line in terms of the politics. Now, I'd like to just wind up by focusing on you, the person, the leader, the you that I have. Because to be where you are, it takes a lot in terms of what you put in yourself. What you put in is what you get out. In, out, in, out. So what is it that you put in into you that you're able to get this gene that another young person needs to know? What do you do? What are your values?
Okay, most importantly is I entered into this journey, as I told you, with a soul. I told you I ran away from classroom teaching to political teaching to learning and disrupting things that are you know, kind of impinging on my participation
in politics.
And, in politics. And so in that way, it has not been a soft journey, I can say so. It has never been simple. It is not a soft learning. There is no achievement that you can get on a silver platter, not at all. Yes, so importantly was that I got focused. For anyone to achieve, you must have a goal. You must have a career goal to know where I am heading,
you want to go.
How I should get there, what do I want to do to get there. So that was informing of what I should do. And in that way, one of the things was commitment and consistency.
Consistency and commitment.
So when you do not give up on what you want to achieve,
you eventually achieve.
You eventually achieve it. And how do you also support your consistency? One, building on the knowledge. And when I realized, for example, that I no longer wanted to be a classroom teacher, that is when a chance came. I got a scholarship. You know, Conrad Adenauer Think Tank was looking for those active, passionate, committed young people that would sponsor to do
a master's
for free. So this is how I enrolled to go and free of charge to add on knowledge in human rights and local governance. And later on, still, Conrad Adenauer gave us an opportunity still to have an exchange learning in Berlin with the leaders in Berlin. So as a young person, I positioned myself. I knew what I wanted. I committed to what I wanted. And also that also speaks to the support networks. Who was part of the journey? Who do I speak to for mentorship? To get resources of knowledge from, to connect me
to
another person, to levels, to spaces. And the other thing, as I said, by the way, was that as I used to be, and I still do the same. I am this kind of person, or I used to be this kind of person. You would say, Jean, there is this. There are women who are arrested. We need to advocate for this. There is a procession here. Where are you?
And you'll show up.
Women are going for this. Where are you? Even if it's raining, I would move and show up.
That is the soul moving, not the body.
The soul is moving. My soul was moving. The soul is moving. Yeah, at what I wanted. And also the fact that I've spoken about the support networks, knowledge that you are adding,
commitment,
the passion. Yeah, setting the goals. Yes. Yes, that is so important. And also importantly is the spirit of volunteering. Because in all these things, I was not being paid. I remember I used to have a friend of mine called Cecilia Anyakoit. Anyakoit used to tell me, you see, Jean, they are about to call us Jean the volunteer. Anyakoit the volunteer. But you see, the narrative has changed. People want money for everything they do, which is wrong. They forget that when you are volunteering, you are first of all adding a skill.
Yes, your skill.
You are building a network of people. You are showing your full self, and people are identifying you. It is the same people who will connect you tomorrow. So from volunteering, I never made a loss at all. And I really would feel that would encourage the young people to learn that volunteering is work itself. It's paying, it's profit, it's a gain. It's not something that you are doing for free, because in other words, it's adding
to your CV,
to your CV,
your knowledge, to your
knowledge, your network. So volunteering became so important for me. And how I enter into this road, by the way, I used to volunteer with World Vision Uganda when I had just finished university. We used to go to communities, educate people, speak to them, doing research for free, by the way. And I gained a lot of knowledge. I also got exposed to the challenges people are facing in the community, the health, the political, the social issues women and girls are facing in this community. And this actually built you up. More urge, more anger. I got so uncomfortable, and I said, anyway, this is something that I must do something about. So the focus, the goal, how to get there, what to do about it, and why you are in there is so important.
It's very, very important.
Became it became a very big pointer.
To your life,
to my life.
Oh, yes,
to my
I guess we
life.
have covered a lot, quite a lot, and I think that we have done very, very well in terms of the things that you have captured. I'm very, very excited to hear you speak. These are the things that we hear a lot in the networks that we are in, the trainings, the capacity buildings, the spaces we speak to, and speak to young people. And we are glad that at least you're expanding this network through this channel today. And maybe in terms of your works, what you want to do in the future, some of the things that you have not done yet. Is this all that Jean is giving us? Is there something that we still should expect from Jean?
I think it's not all. One thing I said when I was starting is we have not done enough to profile ourselves, to contribute to the space through telling our story. So, knowledge building through writing.
You want to write a book?
Not a book, just a book, but I want to be a regular
writer
who can share their knowledge, what they have, to others.
To others.
Yes.
How to present it is a challenge for many of us.
Yeah, how to present it. But you see, it's a process to learn. As I talked about mentorship, I talked about support networks. You look out for people who have done it before and how have they been able to do it. I think that is so helpful and supportive for you to enter into that journey as well. So writing is something that I look out for. Reading
is very important.
So important because you cannot be able to articulate, to add knowledge. When you are not informed.
Growing.
So growing your leadership also goes hand in hand with your ability to attract knowledge, live the knowledge,
and pass it on.
So through reading and writing, I believe I will have rested a very peaceful soul.
Wow.
I will transition well.
Yes.
So I'll be so intentional at the two. So that there is something that I am leaving behind for others.
For the next
and this
generation.
actually goes also to the other sisters, the ancestors, our seasoned leaders who have been there. We need to see your works documented. Your stories documented so that we can pass it on.
You're talking
of
to
course,
me.
kudos to those who have done it already and are doing it. But we need to see what you have done really a lot of work. We need to have this documented.
Where is the time?
Oh my.
Yeah?
Please provide time for it, because that is a very good contribution that you'll have done.
Well.
When those who cannot speak are no longer there, books will speak for you.
Books will speak for you. That's fundamental. I like it. The only trouble is when to start and when to do it and how to do it. That is what I'm battling with as well.
Yeah.
And I need to do that. Yeah. So I just want you to share a little bit of a snippet into your private life. Not really very much. I don't want to go so deep. I would like you just to share how you balance your roles.
Balancing my roles.
Businesswoman, professional, leader,
honestly,
mother, wife, and you're looking great like this.
This journey calls for multitasking, I can tell you. And how you coordinate yourself as a mother. From this to that, to that, to that. As a career person, you connecting and leading a lot of networks around you. Did I tell you I am the coordinator of World March of Women in Uganda?
What is that?
It's a global feminist organizing that is speaking about women's economic rights, women's political rights throughout the world. And so we have different chapters and country coordinating units. I'm one of those ones who are kind of doing that. I invite you to this space.
Matching.
So that you can work. We can talk and speak about these issues and negotiate for our space as women and girls. Yes. So how I manage, I am a mother. And you know how that calls for a lot of responsibility. A lot. I'm a career woman. I am a student as well. I am still studying.
One who is aspiring to write. Imagine.
I am also into a lot of development work. A lot of human rights and activist work. But how do I manage? I think we have to unpack what life-work balance is. Because we do a lot of unpaid care work as women. We do a lot of, we have a lot of struggles. And in a way we normalize pain. We feel a woman is supposed to be that. No, no, no. I think that is not right. A woman is supposed to have a time of rest.
A woman she's a human.
She's a human being, and we must politicize ourselves.
What do you mean?
Yes. Know that the you exists. The Monica exists before work, before others. If you do not have that kind of narrative into your perspective, the me you time, then you will not be able to offer yourself
the best
to the rest.
To the others, the best you.
So rest is so political, and it is important that every woman rests. We are healers. So if you are a healer who doesn't heal yourself,
how will you heal
through
others?
Having your time, having, to know that I need to rest. I need to love myself. I need to do some exercise. I have to have some rituals that actually ground me as a person. Then you'll not be able, you'll not have the ability.
The best of you out there.
To support the others. So as you are a healer, plan to know how you heal yourself.
How do I
heal? Not normalize the pain. Self-care is so important. Well-being is so important. You remember just recently, the COVID-19 pandemic actually exposed a lot of challenges.
Fault lines.
Yes. Unpaid care work, women were working too much, adding to the existing challenges the woman is having. But we realize that at this point, a woman must rest. A woman must think of how they can, replenish. Because there is a lot of demand at family level, at career level, public level, and men have a lot of expectations about for a woman. Families do, children do. So everyone is scrambling
for the same person.
For the same person. So if you do not become so intentional to say, anyway, let me make a balance between the two, you'll break down. And we still need you. So work-life balance is so important. And speaking to that also speaks to how we coordinate, communicate who we are with the people who live with us, to know mommy has
to rest. You know, you can be in the room and you have locked yourself in there.
She has a lot of schedules around her. She has to meet these targets and this and the other. So if you don't, right from the house helps that we have, to the children, to our spouses, how you communicate who you are to them and how you are feeling, and you are not normalizing the pain, because you must make them happy, is important. Yes.
You have to rest.
You have to rest.
Lock yourself away alone somewhere.
So that you can rejuvenate and work better the next day.
Wow.
Yes.
No better person than yourself to talk about self-care. I'm learning. Every time they talk about that area, I have to pay attention. Because I need it.
It's difficult, but we need it. Otherwise, it will break down.
I need it because I'm doing so much.
And it will be lost to so many.
That's right. Okay, I think we have spent our time already. My sister Jean, I would like you to just maybe say one or two things that you could have left behind, and we say bye. I think this is sufficient for our program today. I know that I cannot exhaust everything that you have. There is so much. I've only just scratched a little bit, and you've opened up to discuss here and there. You've given me your work-life balance, your ethos, how you go about juggling this career of yours. Your impact is already out there speaking for itself. The reasons you chose this career are already covered. You know, it's all over. You needed to change certain things, challenges here and there. I don't know if there is anything we've not touched on here and there, but I believe that we have covered most of the things.
Yeah, I want to also assume, so maybe something that I feel is quite a thing for me to mention is the aspect of women believing in their power. Women being able to unlearn, relearn, and learn certain aspects of life.
Unlearn, relearn.
Yes.
And
decolonize knowledge.
Because
yes.
Unlearn, relearn.
Yes.
Yes. And decolonize.
Decolonize knowledge. The knowledge we have gathered, we have been socialized to know about the ability, the power that we have, the ability that we have to take up spaces, to enjoy life, to create impact, you know. I think this planet is so way big enough for all of us, both men and women, to enjoy. And God gave us the potential and ability equally. So let's advance and take it on.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That summarizes just too much in this 45 or 50 minutes. I'd like to thank you, Jean, so much. And I pray that you take my regards to the team at Akina Mama Africa wide, not just the Ugandan team. We know there are many out there working to advance this cause, multiplying ourselves as leaders in many other women. That's now what we are doing and left with. I think for me as well, it's very critical. That's my focus for the next many years, to see more and more women coming up to replace us, the ancestors.
We have now siblings.
Yes,
we now have coming.
Descendants are coming. Yes. Imagine. Yes. And that is the intergenerational conversation and discussion that we've been having here. And I look forward to hosting another person from your team in this particular profiling that we do of leaders. And to our viewers, thank you so much. As we grow this space, we don't want to let it go, because it's a space for us to profile ourselves, to showcase what each one of us is contributing and is able to do and is able to, you know, change in society. That's what we are all about here at Women at the Front Lines, Women Rise. And I thank you so much for giving us your time. And to our viewer, thank you so much. Until we see you on the next program. Shalom.